Now, let's talk about a touchy topic. Now, please do not come for me in the comments. I'm just stating my opinion mixed with a little bit of facts, okay? So, minimum wage is low and taxi fare has increased. Yep. Okay. So, the government made the decision to give taxi operators an increase of 16%, half of which was said to be effective June 2nd and the other half July 1st of 2026. The last time I checked the official page, the price listing was still not up as yet. Now, let's be real. People stop walk with silver. Like, imagine the fare is $162. Where should I find $2 to give to the taxi operators? And then if the roles were reversed, where are they gonna find $3 to give back to me? Now, I know this will cause a lot of conflict between both parties. Taxi operators will not want to lose out on their pay, and the commuters will not want to pay more than what they're supposed to. Now, some people are saying that they have yet to receive an increase in their pay. But think about it. Is that entirely true? It might have been a small amount, but there was an increase. Effective June 1st of 2025, the rate was raised to $16,000 per 40-hour work week. And there's an upcoming increase scheduled for July 1st of 2026 that will bring it up to $17,000 per work week. Per 40-hour work week, that is. Now, this conversation is not about whether or not we can survive from that. This conversation is about whether it is fair for taxi operators to have gotten a raise. In 2023, that was the last time the taxi operators got an increase. A 35% hike was approved to be rolled out in 2 phases. However, only the first phase of 19% was implemented. The rest of it was held back due to concerns about inflation. Now, don't get me wrong, I do see the issues because I do commute as well. I mean, I have to go to work and from work back home. Now, one, no notice. The government implemented the fare without prior notice to the public, and I get that. But if we had gotten a notice, would it have changed how we feel about it? Or would we have just done everything to fight against it? There's also the issue where the official price listing has not yet been posted. And the absence of this brings uncertainty. And people are scared that the taxi operators are going to be overcharging them. I'm still waiting to see this as well. Now, the general sentiment is one of widespread frustration, confusion, and anger. The core issue isn't just the fare hike itself, but how it was handled. And everyone agrees on one thing: the rollout has been chaotic. Now, here's basically what people are saying and what key groups are saying. For the taxi operators, they're angry and feeling cheated. Most drivers feel the approved increase is an insult. They argue the government owes them a 16% raise from 2023, and that current operating cost has risen by 40% for fuel alone. If we check the facts, as I mentioned earlier, this is true. It was approved, but they never got the second phase of the increase. Gas has also increased by approximately 24.6% over the past 5 months of 2026. There's also accusations of political games. One operator, I believe it was no, I'm not going to mention it. One operator says they believe the government is playing politics with their livelihood, noting that drivers have already been forced to raise fares illegally just to stay afloat. No. Wait. I do not agree with them increasing the fare illegally. And it has happened to me. I mean, I took a taxi from point A to point B and I was charged $200 to go to point B. And then when I was finished doing what I went there to do, I took another taxi from point B going back to point A and I was charged $150. Now, after doing some checks, I found out that the fare to go from point A to point B and from B to A was actually $150. See? So it is happening. We do know that it's happening, and no, it's not right. They are wrong for doing this. But again, we have to be fair. We have drivers out there who collect less than the actual fare just because you and them are friends. And then that makes it hard for the other drivers who are simply trying to go by and make a living by the actual fare when you go in their cars and you want to pay whatever it is you feel like you want to pay. You don't want to pay the right fare simply because your friend took less from you. There's a no silver problem. A practical frustration is that the 8% increase or the 8% raise will result in odd amounts. Like example, $12 on a $150 fare. Drivers are arguing that without coins, rounding up is the only logical option. Now, despite the anger, many drivers are reluctantly accepting the situation. Then we have the commuters. They're stressed and pressured by the rising costs. For passengers, this comes at the worst possible time, as many say that they haven't fully recovered from the economical impact of Hurricane Melissa. Many others are worried about its impact on food and other expenses. There is also the erosion of trust and demand for more JUTC buses. Now, a widespread fear is that some drivers might use the confusion as an excuse to overcharge. A key demand is for more government-run Jamaica urban transit company buses on major routes to provide a cheaper and more reliable alternative. Now this, I don't really agree with, because it's gonna put a lot of persons out of jobs, and we have to remember that taxi operators, they're workers too. It's just that they're situated in a different environment than us sitting in an office. They have mouths to feed just like we do. And just because we don't like the decision that was made doesn't mean that we need to go against or fight against the other person. Then there's the opposition calling the rollout pure gimmickry, quote unquote. They argue that rising fares without publishing an official table is highly unusual, and it is extremely disrespectful. There's the demand for regulation. They argue a staggering 8% in June and another in July is designed to confuse the public and will only deepen hardship. They want an independent body to regulate fares to prevent this confusion in the future. Now, with all of that said, I believe that the taxi operators should be given what they deserve and what they were promised. Because if it were us and we did not get the increase, though small, we would have not been happy. A car to a taxi operator is an office to someone who works. Like for instance, I work in an office. The building, that's my space. That's where I'm gonna be at. That's where I go to make my bread. It's the same thing as a car to a taxi operator. You get what I'm saying? It's unconfusing, but you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what it's like. That is their business. It's how they feed their families. It's how they pay their bills. Just as how we deserve to be paid for our time and our services, they do too. And just as how we want the increase, they need it too. Gas has increased by so much. How will they afford to continue carrying us back and forth if they have no money to pay for the gas? How will they pay for wear and tear on the vehicle that we sit comfortably in to go to our destination? If you have a car, if you own a car, drive the car. If you don't have to take a taxi, then do not take a taxi. But please, I think it's unfair for us to fight against them. Like every single comment section I went in as it regards to the price increase, the fare increase, it's rare to find a positive comment. It's very rare for someone to be authentic and true and be like, okay, I understand this, I get this, I know why it's happening. No, that's not what you're seeing. I'm gonna put some screenshots of comments that I'm seeing, and it's like, it's crazy. It's so crazy because I believe if we were on the other side of the table, we would definitely love to get that 16%. Though it is so small, we would have loved to have gotten it. And if we were on the other side of the table and we were promised an increase in 2023 and we did not get the full amount that we were supposed to get, it would have been chaos. And that's how I'm looking at it. This, my lovelies, it might be an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion. This is what I believe, and this is just how I see it. But if you disagree with what I said, or you want to hear more about what I think about this topic, then please like this video, share it with a friend, share it with a taxi operator, share it with everyone, share it with your dog, your puss, your cow. And of course, please subscribe to the channel and turn your notification bell on. You don't know, it is Talks with Lania. Next week, new talk, same place, same time. Bye bye, my lovelies.